So this is the AROEVE MK07. It has a rated power of 35 watts. And it's going to be, basically, it comes with a 2-year warranty. It operates and performs similarly to what you would find on some of our favorites, like the Levoit here. So I'm taking it out for you guys. Inside the box on the MK, you will be receiving the user manual. Also is a air quality indicator chart here. The indicator color is going to be blue if the air quality is very good, green if it's good, yellow if it's moderate, and red if it's bad. So let's take a look at that AROEVE menu interface. You have the display. You can see that the build quality is a little bit suspect here because it's a little floppy. So you turn it on and that's going to be the display. It's going to give you a particle count. That's where it reads out the particle size, so you can adjust that. So this is level 1. So even on level 1, the AROEVE is quite loud. It's not super quiet. The fan here is not the quietest fan. So it sounds a little bit more industrial, more rumble. It's not as smooth sounding of a fan. Here's your 10 micron size, 2.5, 1 micron. Your timer, display off. You can set it on auto mode. Turn display off. Hold it down. You can turn it off. Now if you compare it to something like the Kowei here, and you want to hear the Kowei, this is the Kowei on level 1. So it's a lot more gentler. The Kowei does not have a display. It actually tells you what the air quality is based on the light color. So if it's blue, it's good, and if it's red, it's bad. They have 4 levels. You have 3 fan speeds. So 2 on the Kowei sounds like 1 on the AROEVE. And 3. And this sounds more like a jet engine. This is a turbine. And that's off. If you want to hear what this is a Levoit Core 300. 1. Very quiet. And I got to replace the filter and still pretty quiet. 3. So I have my AROEVE along with my Levoit and my Kowei, and you can see that the design language on the AROEVE is not cylindrical and tubular like you might get on a Core 300 here. It's much more similar with on the Vital series from Levoit, or just a more traditional air purifier where the air is being pulled in through the front and the clean air is going through the top after it passes the air filter. And the air filter is where the magic happens. All of these, every single one of these, the air filter is where the magic happens. As you can see, they all come with a pre-filter. They'll have a HEPA filter inside and a carbon filter that gives it a 3-stage filtration system. Same thing if you go cylindrical here. I'll show you what I mean. So on this Kowei, all of them, you just pop open the bottoms and they come with their own filters. And this is a Kowei filter. You can see that it's a good weight to it. Key difference is that the AROEVE comes with a air sensor, just like your Kowei, but your Core 300, as well as other non-auto mode enabled air purifiers don't have that, because they need a sensor to have auto mode, because the air quality goes down. How would the machine know unless it has a sensor? So the AROEVE has 3 sensors built in, similar to a Shark. So let me talk about some of the drawbacks of the AROEVE. For one, well, you got to replace these filters. How easy, how cost effective is it to be replacing these filters? And the filters are relatively light compared to its competitors, like on the Core 300. The reason why we love a Core 300 is that you change out these filters every 8 months, and they're very thick and big. I mean, look at the size and density of this filter here. So it lasts you a longer time. The AROEVE filter are really for 6 months. So it's not going to last you as long as a Levoit filter, which means you're going to have to update and replace those filters more often, and that's a long-term cost. Another thing about the AROEVE is that the build quality is somewhat flimsy, right? You press this, it's a little bit loose. You know, everything looks shiny, but it's not the best, tightest build quality. You know, I think the Levoits have a better build quality, as well as the Kowei. Another interesting design choice is that it is not that easy to replace the filter. So you got to slide it in. And I know people might be like, no, it's super easy. But actually it's not as easy because you might remember that this might be dirty. So you got to lock it in on those tiny tabs on the bottom. And then there's no like pushers here. You just push it in, right? How weird is that? And that's how it goes on. There's no tabs. Where's the tabs? So basically, if you want to pop it out, you pull it out, and then you have to push in to put it back in. So I'm going to use the AROEVE and cook an egg, because if the particle counts work, it should be able to detect that I cooked an egg. Because eggs, any cooking, you're going to be using gas, methane, there's particles in the air. This should trigger it right away. All I need is one egg. I'm going to cook that egg. So right now next to the fire, it is sensing a very hot pan, so it's smoking already. You guys can see it smoking. We're seeing if it's picking it up. Oh, it's picking it up automatically. You can see it does pick it up as I have the smoke. The 2.5 has kick-started. 10. So the sensor is working. The sensor does work. You generally have to be in close proximity, which is interesting. So if I bring the smoke to it, like a pan here, you guys see the pan? And that, you see this, there's a good amount of vapor. I'm bringing the vapor here. And that picks it up right away.